What happens when tariffs are challenged in court? Have you ever wondered what really happens when tariffs are taken to court? It's a fascinating process that can impact trade and even utilities. Let's break it down step by step. When tariffs are challenged, the first thing that comes into play is jurisdiction. This means figuring out which court has the authority to hear the case. Usually, the United States Court of International Trade handles these disputes. This can sometimes slow things down, as cases may need to be transferred from other federal courts. Next, we look at the legal basis for the challenge. Tariffs can be contested for various reasons. For instance, some argue that the government has exceeded its authority or that the tariffs violate constitutional limits. A recent example involves challenges to tariffs imposed under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Some cases have claimed that the president's power does not cover certain tariffs or that exemptions for low-value imports should not be removed. Once the case is in court, the proceedings begin. The judges will examine whether the tariffs were lawfully imposed and if the executive branch acted within its powers. Arguments often revolve around how the law is interpreted and the balance between national security and legal limits. While utility companies may not be directly involved in these trade tariff cases, they face similar challenges when their own tariffs are questioned in court. Now, what can happen as a result of these court cases? There are a few possible outcomes. Courts might uphold the tariffs, confirming that they were legally imposed. This would mean that the government's ability to use tariffs as a trade tool remains intact. Alternatively, a court could issue an injunction, temporarily blocking the tariffs while the case is ongoing, especially if there is a chance of harm or if there were procedural issues. In some instances, courts may overturn the tariffs. If they find that the tariffs exceed legal authority or violate laws, they can invalidate them. This could lead to refunds for those affected and might change trade policies moving forward. Given the stakes, many of these cases go through appeals and can even reach the Supreme Court for a final decision. For utilities, understanding these legal challenges is important. Utilities typically have tariffs approved by regulatory commissions, unlike trade tariffs imposed by executive order. When utility tariffs are challenged, courts often enforce them strictly. This is because utilities operate under state regulations that ensure they balance public service obligations with financial stability. The legal principles that apply to utility tariffs help protect them from excessive litigation risks and support stable pricing for consumers. In summary, when tariffs are challenged in court, it involves a complex process of jurisdiction, legal scrutiny, and potential outcomes that can affect both trade policy and utility regulation. The way courts handle these cases highlights the importance of regulatory frameworks and the legal protections that exist for utilities, even though they differ from trade tariffs.